So I'm wearing this shirt today because I hope this will be the last ride of the criminal enterprise known as the Clinton campaign. Oh dear. Well, I I know how the mainstream media is going to spin the debate. There's no question about that. So, but I thought one of the most compelling things about the debate was that Trump said she really shouldn't have even been allowed to run for president. She should be in jail. It's as simple as that. And the fact that we now know that Obama was part of the scheme and Loretta Lynch and James Comey, it's just bringing the
Well, part of the deal is she's going to put Loretta Lynch and Obama on the Supreme Court.
yeah
That's
some
the
guy
deal they made.
some guy Obama who essentially was disbarred for he and his wife were disbarred for doing bad things. Um, it just shows the massive corruption that is the Clinton criminal enterprise, as we say. But yeah, I think as I predicted, Chris Wallace did far and away the best job. I thought. What was your take?
I still thought he was a little biased against Trump, to be honest
Yeah,
with you. He interrupted Trump more. He pounded Trump more on stuff. I think they made another deal with him as well. And I think Clinton got a lot of softballs and a lot of setups for prepackaged Marco Robato-like answers. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Chris. Let me compare. This year I was helping children. Donald Trump was borrowing $14 million from, basically I'd say 98% of what she said was a lie.
Right. At least I wouldn't. I don't know whether I'd give her the 2%.
It's just basically lie, 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 and sadly, people are going to pick it up. And I feel that they sort of set Trump up to draw these contrasts that would make Clinton seem moderate in comparison, when in reality, Trump is much more moderate and populist in his views.
Yeah.
But they're painting as, you're not fit for office. Look at him tearing down that woman. That we know what Donald Trump is. He's a masochist who hates women. And that's what the media is spinning it like right now. He's so not presidential. And and it's clear from these WikiLeaks emails, everyone knows she's committed treason, but everybody's like in on the party. So the whole thing comes down. Now it's coming out of the emails that Iowa completely stolen. Iowa caucus, completely stolen.
Yeah, which we had suggested before in Political Pals that that's what happened to Bernie there. And Trump's comment about rigged election. I can't imagine why people aren't talking about that, because she rigged the election against Bernie.
Well, did you see the Project Veritas videos?
Yeah.
It's recorded. It's documented. And the thing is, she's not denying any of that. She just pivots over to what a masochistic womanizer he is. But she never like pushes back on that.
Yeah, it's incomprehensible. And then also the disruptions at the Trump rallies and everything they were paid for. So I give James O'Keefe a lot of credit. He is one of the only true journalists out there. He's going out and getting the real story.
Yeah.
And this is worse than Watergate ever was.
Oh, it's far worse. It's far worse. And the sad thing is everybody is complacent. Everybody's complacent. And even people who should know better. Stephen Colbert, complacent. Michael Moore,
well, he's bought and paid for. These people, we think they should know better. They're just hacks. They're just bought and sold. It's pay for play. 96% of all journalists donate to the Democratic Party. How is that fair? Even if you look at Fox, Megyn Kelly and Brett Baier, they're against Trump. So, and why? Because she wants to have leverage. She's got a contract coming up, and so she wants leverage to say, "See, I'm middle of the road enough, or I'm leaning towards Hillary enough that I can be hired by ABC, CBS, NBC. So Fox, you better pay me, otherwise I'll go there." Now, if you're Sean Hannity, you know you can't get hired by NBC. There,
Well,
or
look at
CBS.
Glenn Beck. He starts to work for CNN and endorses Hillary Clinton. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, he was always just a hack. He was, there are right wing hacks and there are left wing hacks, and will be either whoever's paying him the most at the moment.
well, and as these WikiLeaks things continue to come out, I mean, every Facebook colludes, Google colludes. It's everybody's part of the same cabal, and it's just amazing that people buy this crap and and probably what they're doing now is they're just doing all the math to steal electoral votes. They're
Mm-hmm.
doing all the math to go, all right, we own the voting machines here, we'll flip these, and they're just going to steal it on electoral votes. I mean, Trump might end up winning popular vote by a landslide. So it seems like their strategy now is disenfranchise all Trump voters, make them think it's hopeless. He sucks. Nobody likes him. He's going to lose in a landslide. Clinton is fantastic. Deflect everything bad. It's all Russia's fault. Trump is a pig. Dig up another Trump tape from 15 years ago. Plaster that. Ignore the fact that Hillary Clinton has committed treason. That Barack Obama has basically committed treason. That the whole FBI thing is a big cover-up. That everybody is colluding. And that if Hillary Clinton wins, there'll be no accountability for anything.
This guy Patrick Kennedy still has his job, right? He's still over at the State Department.
I mean, yeah, there'll be no accountability. Basically, you're putting a treasonous liar in office who's probably going to start World War III. But forget about that. Don't look at that. And that seems to be the strategy right now. And we'll just steal it anyway. We'll just make the math work for electoral votes because they got a lot of practice on the Democratic thing. And now they're going, you know what? Bring it on. Show all the proof. What's going to happen to us? I mean,
well, even with how about one of the main criminals there who's had over 300 meetings at the White House? I mean, Obama is up to his neck in the thing.
Right. So at this point, since they have all the laws and control everything, Clinton could just shoot somebody in the face and then shit all over herself and have a seizure. And the Washington Post, the New York Times, CNN, MSNBC, on and on and on, will cover for her.
Yeah.
They'll cover for
Atlantic, Variety.
she had no intent. She didn't know that gun. She didn't know if you pulled her finger. How was she supposed to know that? She didn't intend to blow that person's face off. And then she's gonna turn on the TPP and no mention of environment, nothing of that. Never really answered a question. Never answered the question of I'll shoot down a Russian jet. Just avoided everything. But they know they'll cover everything. I mean, Twitter and Google and Facebook are all tweaking on the trending stuff. So Hillary is fantastic, will trend even if nobody cares, and anything negative, they just suppress it. So there's massive, massive suppression right now, and censorship is run wild. So they're just sitting back laughing. I'm telling you, dude, they're just sipping champagne, and they're laughing their heads off. And, they elevated Trump, and they wanted Trump so that they could do exactly this. And poor Trump, everyone is against him at this point.
Well, I think it could very well be another one of those Brexit moments when the predictions were 87% that Britain would remain in the EU, and they left. So the media is so out of touch with. I was watching CNBC. They were talking to one of the brilliant Silicon Valley people, and he was so disrespectful of people in the middle of the country. I don't even know whether they have the internet. I mean, it was obnoxious. And that's the way the two coasts look, is fly over America, which is where Trump has a lot of his popular vote, they're just idiots. And then you can see it in the WikiLeaks thing, the way they treated Catholics and the way they treat...
No, they hate everybody, but they're controlling the outflow so that what their plan is that people who have not been exposed to this, we're exposed to it all the time, so it will filter into us because we already know. We've had the red pill. Yeah. But people who haven't been exposed to this corruption, that's who they're suppressing. So all they see is Trump bad, Clinton good, Clinton, good for
Well,
America,
that's the way they want to portray it,
stronger together.
and that's really why we've become uh, a country basically without a legitimate news media.
I mean, their plan is, it seems, is keep skewing the polls, keep putting out articles that say Trump is going to lose in the landslide, Trump sucks, Trump doesn't know what he's doing, Trump is unpresidential. Hillary Clinton, a woman of faith. Hillary Clinton, look at how strong she is, fighting back against Trump, putting
fighting
Trump
for children. Just like the 12-year-old girl who got raped and she got the rapist off by her.
Fighting for children, killing bin Laden. Giving, she claimed that 90% of Clinton Foundation funds go to charity when it's really like 5.7%.
Yeah.
But she lies incessantly. But they figure, hey, we've got Chuck Todd, we've got Dennis the Menace's dad, we've got Vanderbilt kid in his tight shirts, we've got Lemon, we've got Claire McCaskill, we've got, Obama, we've got Bernie Sanders, we've got Michael Moore, we've got Bono, we've got Stephen Colbert, we've got John Oliver, we've got Mrs. Ellen Greenspan. We've got everybody. We've got the New York.
We got Megyn Kelly.
We've got Megyn Kelly. We've got the Washington Post. We've got the New York Times. We've got the Daily Beast. We've got Slate. We've got Politico sending us articles. What is anybody gonna do? What is anybody gonna do? Not that many people are watching Styx Hexenhammer 666 in Vermont. So they figure, what is anybody gonna do? Then we'll just do the math. We'll get the electoral votes. And we'll be done with it. Then everybody's pardoned. Everybody's off. Loretta Lynch and Obama, you're going right under the Supreme Court. Everybody's happy. We start another war. We crash the economy. We fuck everybody up. We bail out the banks. And we're just drowning in champagne, laughing our heads up, having a big party at Vanderbilt Kids Compound in Brazil, and just laughing our asses off. And then just calling, those fucking evangelicals, those goddamn needy Mexicans, those Black Lives Matter, what a bunch of fools. They bought it. And they're just like, tipping, Goldman Sachs, and they're just drunk, sniffing cocaine off of a bunch of teenagers that were flown in from the Lolita Express. That's what they're going to do. And just laughing their heads off, going, yeah, they bought it. Good job, everybody. High fives all around. And that's it. And regular people are just fucked and incarcerated. And yeah, we're not going to do anything about marijuana. Forget that. It's going to be a hard drug. Put more people in jail. Put more people in the army. More bombs. It's great. We love it.
Well, Hillary can't wait to start another war.
She even said, we can put those. She said something like 4 hours we can put those nukes out. The president has to be ready to nuke. And here's Trump going, well, I'd like to work with Putin. I don't know Putin, but I'd like to work with him.
Yeah, wouldn't that be better if... And see, Trump understands in the business sense that our economy is 16 times as big as Russia's, the economy. So we say to him, how do we work together so that, because things aren't that great in Russia right now.
And things aren't great anywhere. And just to show you the economy might crash here, Clinton Foundation just dropped about $2 billion into Qatar, however you pronounce it. And for a charity that gives 90% of their money to charity, and then they have like $2 billion laying around to drop into a Middle Eastern country. That must mean what? They're giving hundreds of billions of dollars to charity. So they're, like you said, they're anticipating an economy crash, sell everything short, create chaos. Who cares?
No borders. We don't need borders.
Yeah, I love her excuse for that. And this was about a speech in Brazil, and she's talking about, yeah, we're going to have like energy. What are you going to do? Run power cords to the Amazon?
I was wondering about this because it's like, this is the most insane thing I've ever heard.
You're going to run power cords to the Amazon. Because she's talking in Brazil.
Not to mention, then you're going to run it up through Central America, and then you're going to run it. What the hell are you talking about?
It's unfreaking believable. And the thing is, just most people are uninformed. Most people I talk to, they still think Russia. It's a Russian.
Well, Stuart Varney was the only one who would put James O'Keefe on television. He's on Fox Business in the morning, and O'Keefe thanked him because he said these other people won't even talk to me, even though I have the video proof of this extortion and this criminal
Or
enterprise. But
it's probably because anyone that crosses that machine gets Dr. Drew. Gets Dr.
Yeah.
Drew, or a barbell lands on their neck, or they get shot in the back 4 times while committing suicide. You know, so or somebody from their their whole life is ruined somehow.
Yeah.
So, but
Well, you never know. The IRS could come and we have to look at all your stuff and this is what happens. You remember how they were targeting people who had. This is criminal. Those people should be in jail. And it goes all the way to Obama because it came out of his office.
Well, and now that's been verified in the latest WikiLeaks dump. It's been verified that Obama knew the whole time. So when Obama said, "I didn't hear about it till I saw it in the news," he lied.
Lied.
So basically, an installation of Clinton, there'll be no accountability whatsoever for anything. No accountability.
Wild West. Wild West. Just enrich the Clintons.
And the thing is, how much longer are the Clintons going to live? What are they doing this for? Chelsea and the kids that she had with her freaking Wall Street husband. I mean, what are they doing this for?
Well, they're drunk on power. Number one, they have no conscience. That it's obvious. I mean, she didn't call anybody out. Nobody got fired for all of that stuff that happened. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the fact now, as Trump said the other day, that more people have been shot in the city of Chicago than in Afghanistan, than Americans shot in Afghanistan. So, and yet, who's from that? Well, Hillary, of course, is from there. Then we know the Obamas are from there. We know Emmanuel, who's his ex-buddy, is there. And how is the city going? Terrible. They've got the largest unfunded liability, pension liability in the country. So, and all of these economists who predict these things, George Meany, who was the head of the AFL-CIO, and I'm paraphrasing here, said economists have predicted 9 of the last 5 recessions, because they never get it right. Okay, and so whenever you hear, oh, this will do this or that, the thing that Trump has right is that if you go to a zero trade balance, it brings $800 billion a year back into the country of our money. Okay, and so where does that go? Those goods that used to be bought from China, from, as I said, Vietnam, from everywhere else, that trade balance has to go to zero. And when that goes to zero, we suddenly have $800 billion more a year to create more work, more jobs here, and then people pay more taxes. His thing about saying 4% growth is not out of the realm of possibility. Remember, the average growth out of a recession is around 5%. We have never had that we've never grown out of the recession. We're still in it.
The funny thing is that Clinton paints this thing of her being the champion of the middle class. I'm fighting for the middle class when it's already documented. This couldn't be farther from the truth. But nobody is getting this news. All they're getting is Trump.
Remember what she said in her speech. She said, "I'm so far away from. I don't even know what's going on. I have no way of relating to them." So, but as you say, the media, except for 1 or 2 people, are not going to call her out.
No, they're not. And you have to get it. You have to get the real stuff online yourself, and the machine isn't worried about that. They're not worried about people like us who regularly keep up on things. They're worried that other people will find it out. So they want to keep going to people like Chuck Todd and late night comedians. Keep up those jokes. Keep pushing Trump down and talking about how great Hillary is. And I mean, how does Stephen Colbert sleep at night? He seems like he's a smart guy. I mean, and here he is helping to install a tree.
You can be smart. It doesn't mean you're ethical. It doesn't mean you have a conscience.
Yeah, well, clearly, it's like these guys are all like Michael Moore is just kicking his credibility right off the fucking cliff. I mean, Robert Reich just blew all his cred.
Oh well, he had very little to begin with, but he's the famous one about saying to the woman, "Can you come upstairs and cuddle with me?" You know, I mean, he's a little, you know,
Yeah.
short dwarf guy who, you know, is abusing everybody. But he's here at Berkeley, you know, so what the heck?
Right.
Is he really doing anything? Does he really know what to do to create new jobs? No.
No, but there's some people out there that like listen to him, and you know, people like
Oh,
Sarah,
no question. They listen to him.
right, and people like Sarah Silverman turncoating on
Sure.
everything, and all these people. I mean, what the you know? It's like, can't you see that Hillary Clinton is committed treason?
Yeah.
Like, and it's in black and white, and everybody has covered it up. I mean, the only thing is maybe a bunch of generals can get together and say, all right, we need to do a coup and just shut this down, because once she's installed, there's absolutely no, it's full on banana. It already is banana republic, but it takes everything to another level, because Obama's horrible and she's worse than Obama. You know, and I got to thinking now, it's like really Obama and Romney not that different. You know, they're all part of the same cabal. If either one wins, everybody's happy. You know what I mean? Like if it was like W or Little Marco, or not exclamation point and Little Marco versus Clinton, I mean, nobody's going to really care, because they're all part of this. They're all basically the same, you know?
Yeah.
But Trump is not part of that cabal, and they're
Yeah.
scared shitless, and that's where they're like, right now they're doing the math on how do we get the electoral vote? We'll just steal that. We'll steal that. Let's just focus on stealing electoral vote and padding everything everywhere else.
And you said Trump came out and said he wants term limits. How isn't that a good idea?
No, I mean, his drain the swamp is a lot of the stuff that you're a proponent of, and getting rid of that revolving door and blah, 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 because he's not tied in with that crap. But Obama wants to be on the Supreme Court. They threw that bone to Loretta Lynch, put you on the Supreme Court, and everything is going to be so obvious if, and I hope this doesn't happen, but it's most likely they'll install Clinton. And they're going to go, what are you going to do? They'll just frickin' laugh. What are you going to do? They'll call up Chuck Todd. All right, here's the spin, Wad. Here's the spin. Here's what you say. They'll call Dennis the Menace's dad. Here's the spin. Here's what you say. They talk to Colbert. Okay, in your late night comedy, here's how you spin it. This is the narrative. Go. And they'll just be back there laughing. Well, we can do anything we want. We can do anything we want. Did Epstein bring in the underage girls? Bring them in. Bring them in. Bring in the cocaine, because we're going to party, because there ain't nothing anybody can do about it.
Nope. Untouchable.
Well, call Lester Holt. Have Lester Holt do this story on the air. Yeah, have a Washington Post going to put out a bunch of articles with this narrative, and we're just going to continue to suppress anybody on YouTube, and we'll demonetize them. We'll shut down their comment section. We'll make sure that nothing is trending, and we'll be good.
You know, Hillary even flip-flopped on the wall last night. That was, you know, I wanted these Latino voters to think about, A, what does she really stand for when 90% of them are Catholic, 99 probably, and she has total disdain for Catholics.
But they don't know that. All they know is what they hear Chuck Wad say. That doesn't get into their news cycle, because on like Telemundo or whatever, their survey said Clinton won 96% to 4%. So all they're getting is the narrative that they hear from Dennis the Menace's dad, and all the legacy media. Or they'll go on Yahoo and there's all these Washington Post articles that talk about Clinton, a woman of faith. They don't know that she disdains Catholics and thinks of them as needy Mexicans and taco bowlers and doesn't give a flying fuck. But then she'll just get out there and smile and say, I'm fighting for you. And Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders is supporting me, and I agree with him. I think Bernie Sanders just wants to keep breathing at this point, or to keep his family breathing. But nobody gets that information. That's the thing. And even if you try and tell people, they just don't want to hear it. They just go, no, it's a Russian conspiracy. Trump is horrible. I can't vote for Trump. I can't vote for...
Nobody talks about the fact that we sent 20% of our uranium to Russia under the deal that Clinton put together, and somehow $145 million came from a Canadian company that was actually owned by a Russian oligarch. So when Chris Wallace said, "Did you separate the Clinton Foundation?" and so, are you kidding me? I mean, he was good to ask that question, but she lied like crazy on it.
Her comeback was, "Oh, we give 90% to charity, which is really 5.7, and we've done, AIDS drugs. Well, they watered down the AIDS drugs. They water them down. Killed lots of people. Killed lots of people in Haiti."
Well, in the Haiti thing, the whole pay for play down there, all of these donors that donated to her got the contracts.
Right, and she totally set up her brother, and the people in Haiti hate the Clintons, hate them, but that this narrative will never get to regular people, and they're just bombarded, and it just allows them to laugh their heads off. It just allows them to freaking laugh their heads off and go, "Those stupid freaking peasants, who cares? Let them just die off." Let them just die off. It'll sift out the population anyway. You just got to get their votes. I mean, like in the Democratic primary, millions of voters for Hillary were dead people.
Yeah.
Another part of their election fraud. And they go, "We got this stuff down. Nobody's going to call us out on it. Nobody in the press is going to question it."
Well, remember that O'Keefe also had the video of the head of the New York Election Commission saying that he knew there was voter fraud going on, and then told how they were doing it. They were busing the people from one precinct to another and having them vote multiple times.
Right, and allegedly he has the biggest bombshell he hasn't even dropped yet. He's got a huge bombshell.
Really?
Of Clinton herself saying racist remarks. This is allegedly what they still have up their sleeve, and allegedly the 33,000 emails that were deleted, somebody's got them. They're still out there too.
I'm sure somebody's got them.
So, and really these leaks are probably coming from the FBI itself, of people who are fucking pissed at Comey, the weasel Comey, just going, "Man, this is ridiculous." We real patriots going, "We can't stand by and watch this happen. Yeah. We cannot stand by and watch this happen," because they're freaking gaslighting the nation right now. Yeah. And so the leaks aren't coming from Russia; they're coming from moles who are the real patriots, risking their lives on this crap, going, "Man, this is horrible."
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a sad day for the world if they pull this off, and they're going for it right now. They're just all we got to do is cheat the Electoral College, and we put out enough false polls and negative articles to where people will buy it.
Yeah. Well, they've got the media on their side, but let's hope a Brexit thing happens and their plan fails, and then Hillary will be in jail because Trump will, put a new attorney general in there, probably Giuliani, and he's going to go after her, and she will get her just due.
Let's hope so. I mean, all we can do is hope for that, but they're working on every angle right now, and that's their plan. All we got to do is cheat that, and we have the whole press corps, which isn't even a press corps anymore. They're just a bunch of entertainers keeping their millions of dollar a year jobs and enjoying the cocktail parties.
Yeah.
I mean, how much of that Clinton Foundation cash goes to lavish cocktail parties and buying people off? And for what? They're old and sick. Those Clintons are old and sick. She rides around in an ambulance, and is sleeping half the time. Why do you want to ruin so many people's lives and start a war when you're that freaking sick? That debate, I don't think it's going to change anybody's minds one way or another, honestly.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully there were some people who got to see a slightly different angle. But as you say, they'll be piling on in the mainstream press, but I'm still hoping this is the last ride for the Clinton criminal enterprise, and we pull a Brexit moment on election day.